You can't multiply what you keep repeating. You can only multiply what you've documented. Hey, welcome to the Educator Altar, where teachers rise, school owners evolve, and education is reborn. Because when educators arise, nations shift. My name is Samuel Efre, also known as Tom Phonics, your school business architect. And today's episode will actually sting because it will also set you free. Now, we're going to expose one of the most dangerous forms of hidden poverty in education, a poverty that looks respectable, even holy. It wears the face of service but bleeds the sweat of stagnation, and it's called the poverty of repetition. Are you with me? Good, thank you. You see, let's start with the truth. Many educators are not poor because they lack talent. They are poor because their system keeps forcing them to repeat what they should have repurposed. Every time you teach the same topic, every year you write the same lesson note, every workshop you repeat the same training, every seminar the same PowerPoint, and at the end of it all, you can earn the same income, different effort, same return. And that's the silent poverty of repetition, the illusion that activity equals progress. Now, think about this. If you taught eight subjects, hmm? If you taught eight subjects this term, and you earn like 120k, okay, uh, yes, you earn like 120k, but next term you teach same subject using the same notes, the same slide, and you are still earning like 120k. That's not consistency. That's stagnation disguised as stability. Because repetition without evolution is not mastery, it's actually mental slavery. Now, there are two kinds of poverty in education. There are two kinds of poverty in education. We have the visible poverty where there's no money, no resources, no access. Then we have the silent poverty, constant effort, no multiplication. You see, silent poverty hides in routine. It's in the teacher who keeps improving lessons but not systems. It's in the school owner who keeps repainting buildings but not redesigning models. It's actually in the trainer who keeps talking but never turns talk into product. You know, it looks like you run out of energy before you run out of term, or you run multiple programs but can't trace where the profit went, or you've been working for 10 years but can't find what can sell without you. That's not dedication, that's depletion. So let's go deeper. Let's go deeper. You see, because this is not just about money, it's about mental design. Psychologically, repetition feels safe to you. It gives the illusion of control. You can predict your week, your student, your lesson plan, but safety is the enemy of skill. Write it down. Safety is the enemy of skill. The brain loves patterns, but wealth loves disruption. Check out people that are wealthy. They've disrupted one thing that people think or people thought that it was impossible. Every time you repeat without recording, you repeat without documenting or systemizing, you tell your brain, my value ends with me. That's why many educators die empty. They give their best energy to moments that vanish with the bell. I'm going to get practical with you, okay? A teacher explains nouns 15 times a year to different classes. That's 15 unpaid repetitions of the same intellectual property. Imagine if the same teacher turned that explanation into a short animated video, a class worksheet, a mini ebook, and a parent learning kit. That one-time effort could have become 4 income streams. Instead, we trade our brilliance for applause and call it humility. You see, here's what many educators don't realize. The education economy no longer rewards teaching, it rewards transferability, transfer. You are not paid for how many times you teach. You are paid for how well your teaching can travel. Are you with me? If your lesson stops in the classroom, your income stops at the end of the term. But if your lesson travels through videos, guides, templates, courses, or frameworks, then your value multiplies long after the bell rings. That's the new wealth law of education. What you repeat, what you record, replicate. And what you replicate, monetize. Now, let's call this the Tom Phonics 3R framework of multiplying educational value. Okay, now first R is record it. Record it. Stop letting ideas disappear into the air. Some of you have smartphones. There's voice recorder in it, free of charge. You're not paying for the tool, but you're not using it. Record it. Every lesson, every training, every talk is a product in embryo. Okay, record it. Audio, video, or written format. Then number 2, refine it. Turn your raw talk into structured content. Maybe a guide, a slide, a workbook, or digital toolkit, and replicate it. Build a system that allows others to experience it without you being there. For example, an online course, or a downloadable PDF, or a school training subscription. If every educator applied this 3R principle, schools would become factories of impact and income. The problem now is, Tom, how do I do it? How can I do the practical aspect? That's where you get to send us an email. Do you understand me? Now, let's apply this to schools. Okay, schools repeat work every year without evolving the structure. They start afresh every September, like startups with amnesia. They start advertising pattern, the same manual report sheet system, same complaint about fees, parent and staff, same fundraising letters with different dates. That's repetition poverty at scale. Because if you've been running your school for 10 years but still rely on manual registers, paper receipt, and memory-based leadership, you're not running a school, you are repeating a ritual. Let's be honest. Many schools are not poor because they lack enrollment. They are poor because they lack replication systems that document how things work, so results can be multiplied. That's why I built the SOP Master Pack, because without standard operating procedures, every term restarts from scratch, and restarting is expensive. Think about how many times your admin repeats a process that could have been automated. Either fee reminders, onboarding forms, result upload, lesson supervision. Each repetition drains energy and blocks innovation. You can check the description for the link to the SOP Master Pack. So click on it to download your own copy. See, the problem with education is not laziness, it's looping. Let me explain. You keep doing what worked 5 years ago, forgetting that the world has moved 5 versions ahead. Repetition creates emotional exhaustion, not just financial poverty, because deep down you know you are doing too much for too little. That's why burnout is high, resentment builds, and that's why creativity fades. You see, every educator has a saturation point, and repetition accelerates it. Okay, so but when you repeat the repetition, you activate scalability. Your mind moves from how do I finish this term to how do I make the system run without me. That's when you move from teacher to trainer, and you move from trainer to a thought leader, and you move from a thought leader to institution. Let me tell you a story, a real life story. You see, there was a teacher, let's call her Grace. She'd been teaching phonics for 11 years. Brilliant, passionate, loved by her student, but broke. Every time she printed worksheet, demonstrated sounds, sang rhymes, and lost her voice by midterm. So one day she decided to record one of her rhyme sessions on her phone. She posted it on Facebook. It went viral. Parents began asking her for full sets. She packed packaged them into a 10-episode phonics video series. Within 3 months, she made in 1/4 what she used to earn in a year. You see, Grace didn't become rich by learning something new. She actually became rich by stopping repetition and starting replication. Now you understand what replication means, right? Now, let me expose the formula behind this silent poverty. Repetition without documentation is equal to energy drain. And documentation without system is cluttered. Yeah? And system without monetization is busy poverty. And here's the antidote. Systemize documentation with monetization intent. It's not that you are greedy. No, it's not about you being greedy, because this means that you don't just take notes, you format them for sale. And you don't just record sessions, you package them for replay. And you don't just teach, you trademark your frameworks. You are not selfish for selling your system, or teachers, you are not. You are wise for multiplying your value. So, school owners, listen to me. You repeat the same open day speech every term. The same will do better next time. You promise the same parents complain, the same parents they complain, the same staff meetings. But have you recorded those insights? Have you built a school owner's manual? Have you documented the policies that could outlive you? You can't build legacy on memory. You build legacy on manuals. That's why some schools die with their founders, because the founders' brilliance was never translated into a repeatable system. You must shift from verbal culture to documented culture. You see, what you say disappears, but what you write endures. I'm going to show you the Tom Phonics 1 to 5 model. Very quick. It's a simple framework to break repetition and multiply revenue. Now, take one thing you already do and stretch it into 5 scalable outputs. For example, one training topic let into 5 assets. Like number 1, if you record the training, the outcome is either going to be an audio or a video file, or you transcribe and edit, then you convert it to a PDF guide or an ebook, or you extract visuals like what you're just doing with just doing now. You're listening to me, and create slides, views, or carousel posts. You can reach out to us. We'll teach you this personally, a one-on-one session, okay? Or you can create companion tool. Companion tool means you have a template, you have checklist, and you have workbook. And finally, you can bundle and sell all of them as a course or membership or toolkit. Now you've multiplied your impact without repeating yourself. Now that's how the modern teacher scales, not by doing more, but by building systems that sell more. Good. Now I'm going to contrast this now. Okay, I'm going to contrast both repetition model and structure model. First, repetition poverty. Works harder every term, but in structural wealth you work smarter every term. Or you want to talk about relying on memory? No, in structural wealth you're relying on documentation. Then there's the part of you're teaching again and again and again. You're teaching this, you're teaching that. See, when you teach once, that once can actually go to almost like this. I'm teaching now. I'm teaching you this now. You can check the views. 200. It get to a point where 10,000 people just listening to this, so I don't get to repeat it over and over and over again. Okay, or the part where in a repetition poverty you are earning only by your presence. With the advent of TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube like this, you just have to. You don't have to be present. You earn even in your absence, and celebrated but exhausted in the repetition poverty as a teacher. But in structural wealth, you're respected and rewarded, and you become celebrity. You understand? If your income depends on how many times you show up, you are still an employee. And even if you own the school, as the school owner, see, true freedom begins when your ideas start working without you. So I'm gonna get practical again. Okay, so here is going to be your 5-step reset plan to end repetition poverty, like I just listed. 1, audit your repetition. Write down what you do repeatedly every week. Teaching, onboarding at the school, maybe responding to parent, training staff. List them. Then number 2, you document the process. Turn those routines into templates, turn them into scripts, and turn them into SOPs. Then number 3, you systemize the delivery. Okay, so in systemizing, you automate or you delegate. Use tools like Google Forms, Sheet, or recorded content, and you now monetize the system, because you have to package your method into something people can buy, maybe an ebook or a masterclass or a toolkit. Then please review and refresh every 90 days. That's 3 months. Upgrade the system instead of repeating the tasks. You don't need more work, you need better systems for the work you already do. You see, even spirituality, in the spiritual world, repetition can be deceptive. So you can be faithful but fruitless, you can be diligent but directionless, and you can be serving but yet you are sovereign. God blesses multiplication, not motion. In the parable of the talent, the servant who buried his talent wasn't lazy. He was just repeating, and he kept doing what felt safe, and heaven called him unprofitable. Faithfulness in this season is not in repeating, it's in replicating. Imagine this. A school where every teacher's best lesson becomes a digital library, every workshop becomes a resource hub, or every parent meeting becomes a podcast, and every policy becomes a downloadable manual. That's not just a school, that's an education enterprise. That's where Africa's educational transformation will happen, when schools stop repeating and start replicating. So today, I want you to make this declaration with me, and please write in the comment section because I can hear you. I refuse to repeat what I can record. I refuse to waste what I can multiply. I refuse to hustle where I can structure. Because I am not just an educator, I am an architect of transformation. If you say that, please comment. If you said that rather, please comment. Write in the comment section and share this to every educator you know. Share it on your WhatsApp status. Share it on your Facebook. Share it on your Instagram. Just keep on sharing, because we need as educators to start blowing our trumpet. You see, please don't just nod, don't just look at this. Act. Visit this. Go back to other trainings I've done, other videos I've done, and subscribe. Turn on the notification bell, because this is where we build systems that make schools sustainable, we make teachers profitable, and educational recognizable. And if you're ready to stop repeating cycles and start building systems, you need to be faithful listening to me every weekday 6 a.m. because at the Educator's Altar, we don't just teach, we transform education into an economy. Thank you, and see you tomorrow.